Hey, I'm Hallie. My best friend and I, that's her, by the way, the cute redhead. We created this awesome webazine, Geekly Chic.
Hey, I'm Avalon. We had tons of fun writing articles, doing all the graphics, everything, until it almost turned us from best friends into total enemies.
Frenemies. Has that ever happened to you and your best friend?
It happened to us.
I want to be frenemies with this movie. Not even frenemies, just enemies.
Hey, Val.
Hey, Al.
Welcome to D Commentaries.
Thank you. Welcome to you and welcome to our listeners. Today, we're talking about frenemies.
Do we have to? Can we
Yes,
talk
Al.
about anything else, Val?
No, unfortunately, it is a DCOM, and thus we are legally obligated to discuss this film.
Our lawyers are on the phone
We
and
checked.
are forcing us to do this.
Yes.
And I think this was one of those movies, Val, that we didn't realize we would have to watch when we started this podcast 3.5 years ago.
That is correct. And honestly, calling it a movie is perhaps generous. Like, I don't know what this was, but it wasn't a movie. It was like a nonsensical, very short anthology series that made no sense.
Kind of like how I just watched Sex and the City for the first time, which I loved as a 30-year-old adult. And I'm watching the movie now, the Sex and the City movie from 2008, but I'm watching it in like 20-minute increments because that's all the time that I have. So it's kind of like I'm just watching more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that. It's just an anthology. The Sex and the City movie is just the anthology. Frenemies is just an anthology.
Yes, sure.
And we're stalling.
Yeah, we are, because we don't want to do it, but we're gonna. So
We're
here
gonna,
we go.
For
Let's
you,
just do
the
it.
listener.
Let's rip it off, rip the Band-Aid off. Here we go. Here's the business. Okay. Frenemies came out January 13th, 2012. We have officially entered 2012. And
the year that I thought the world was going to end, and then I didn't sleep for a whole night at my friend's apartment downtown Chicago, thinking, this is my last night.
Wow.
The Mayan calendar, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't. It haunts me every day.
Okay. Frenemies. Sorry. My brain is short circuiting. Okay. Frenemies was directed by Daisy von Scherler Mayer. Quite a name.
Is that one word, Val?
No. Von space Scherler space Mayer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. She is a pretty prolific TV director. Some highlights: Nurse Jackie, House of Lies, Chicago Med, Bosch, Made for Love, and Yellowjackets.
So she's still out there. She working.
Oh, yeah, she's working. She's like one of those people who's done, 1 or 2 episodes on like
everything.
So many shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was written by 3 people. Alexa Young, for whom this was their only credit. So I'm wondering if this was based on a book. I couldn't find that information.
Was.
Oh, it was? Okay. It wasn't like listed in the fun facts of IMDb.
It said it in the opening credits that it was based on a novel.
Oh, I definitely missed that. I was just so flabbergasted by what was going on already. Like the animation at the beginning, I was like, what am I looking at?
I forgot about that. I actually blocked that out of my memory. Thanks for bringing it back up.
What I'm guessing is probably the primary writer was Dava Savell. They wrote on the show Dinosaurs, Ellen, That's So Raven, Sunny with a Chance, Raven's Home, and Bubble Guppies, among some other ones, but those were the ones where they had the most episodes. Wendy Weiner was the third writer. She wrote for The Talent Show, Dating Rules for My Future Self. And that was their last credit, or her last credit. So she didn't really have like a very prolific resume.
Yeah, the opening credits say Act 1 written by this person, Act 2 written by this person, and Act 3 written by this person.
Oh.
So I think that's why the anthology part of it is that it just also feels like 3 different movies because it's written by 3 different writers.
That is so dumb. That is so unbelievably dumb.
Yeah.
Like, would you ever do that? Like, can you imagine if someone did that for like a movie that came out in a movie theater? Like if they had 3 different writers and they did not make the movie cohesive at all. They just like let them write whatever they wanted. Like, are you joking?
Yeah.
That is some bold shit right there. Some bold shit. All right, we're going explicit because I'm mad. Okay. The cast
the worst one. All the worst ones.
I know. I can't
explicit.
help it. I can't help it. I have to. Okay. The cast actually is not that big, which is interesting given the situation.
Movie. The video, the really long YouTube that we watched that was on Disney Channel at one point.
It was so weird. Okay. Bella Thorne played Avalon Green. Bella was in Shake It Up with Zendaya, which was a show on Disney Channel. And she's also more recently been in The Duff, Famous in Love, Paradise City, and a number of music videos over the course of her career because she is a musician. As we see, I guess, at the end of this, whatever this was. Zendaya played Hallie Brandon.
Zendaya's Hallie.
That's right. She was also in Shake It Up with Bella Thorne. They were already on the show when this movie came out. So obviously they were just like, let's put these girls in a movie together.
Yes.
And it was a horrible movie to put them in.
Yeah.
But Zendaya, I would assume most people would know. She's been in the more recent series of Spider-Man movies. She was in Casey Undercover. She was in The Greatest Showman. She's been in The Dunes. She was on Euphoria, and she also is a musician or singer. So she has a bunch of music videos as well.
Missing the most important credit, Val, is Challengers. Thank you.
I saw that one and I almost wrote it down and then I forgot.
Yeah.
That's her most recent
That's Mike
credit.
Feist Erasure.
I don't know what that means. Mary Mouser played Savannah O'Neill and Emma Reynolds. She was the voice of Eloise, which was like a children's show. She was on NCIS, Body of Proof, and most recently Cobra Kai.
Oh, so she's still acting. What's her name? Molly Mouser?
Mary Mouser.
Mary Mouser. Mary Mouse, do, 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 do. Mary Mouse, do, 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 do. Mary Mouse. Okay.
Nick Robinson played Jake Logan. You might recognize him from Jurassic World, Melissa and Joey, Love Simon. That's definitely what I recognized him from. Love Victor, Maid, or History of the World Part 2.
I like him a lot.
I like him too. I liked him in Love Simon. I liked him in this. He was like the one thing that was tolerable in this movie.
Yeah.
Stephanie Scott played Julianne Bryan. I'm not even sure who this is now that, Julianne is the fake girlfriend. Right. She was in something called Ant Farm, which might have been a show on one of the kids networks.
Yeah. And I think it was on Disney Channel.
It was. Okay. She was in Gem and the Holograms and The Girl in the Woods. So she's still acting, but doesn't have like a huge resume. Connor Price played Walker, the editor of the yearbook. He was in Cinderella Man. He was in an episode of Murdoch Mysteries. He was in Being Human and X Company, among some other things. I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. I'm pretty sure this was filmed in Canada, based on some of the other resumes as well. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name, and I couldn't find an answer on the internet. So Joshua Washington played Hallie's brother, Kendall Brandon. He was in Da Boom Crew, and that was his last credit.
Okay.
Dylan Everett played Lance Lancaster. He's like the preppy boyfriend of Emma in the third movie. He was in How to Be Indie, Winging It, Degrassi, The Next Generation, and Pure, among some other things. Catherine Greenwood played Lisa Logan, who was Jake's mom. She was in George and Martha, Wind at My Back, My Big Fat Greek Weddings 2 and 3. And she's just a pretty prolific character actor in general. And Doug Murray played Roger O'Neill, who was Savannah's dad. He was in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Family Biz, Miss Sloane, and most recently Blue's Clues.
And he's hot.
Hot dad.
Hot dad.
I'm not sure if he's a cool dad. He's like fine.
Yeah.
And that's it. The synopsis is as follows. Jeez. Okay. You'll see why I just scoffed. Bella Thorne and Zendaya Coleman, which isn't even how she presents herself anymore, who play Rocky and CeCe in hit Disney Channel series Shake It Up, star in this Disney Channel original movie. So that whole first sentence is unnecessary. It is a comedy about 3 pairs of friends whose relationships go from good to bad and back again. Several couples fall out over girls, boys, and work. Can all these couples settle their differences and be friends again? What?
I mean, I guess. It doesn't make sense, but I guess.
It feels like someone who doesn't speak English, like put their
a bunch of words
into
together,
an English translator, and then just put it there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not inaccurate, I guess. It's just not how I would describe this movie. But honestly, I don't know how I would describe this movie.
Yeah.
Great. So the fun facts are that they were in that show together and that it was based on a book.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
That's the business done. So I would love to hear what your first impressions were of this mess.
Similar to you, Val, I had impressions. And they sure were there. So I watched, I started the movie and had to pause and was confused. As did you. I'm spoiling your review.
It's fine. You're fine.
So we both were confused about the same thing because Zendaya and Bella Thorne are not really in it in the beginning. So you're kind of confused as to what's happening. And then I watched Act 1 and Act 2 and hated it so much. I waited 5 days to watch Act 3, which then did speed by very quickly because I had waited so long. I did not like this movie at all. It did make me question just movies that are made. And I'm going to give it a 2.
Wow. Yep. Deserved. It is a train wreck.
And I know that there are other movies that are bad that I probably gave like a 3.5, but like this is a bad movie.
You would have to pay me so much money to watch this movie again. Like yeah. I would rather watch, what was the movie we watched really early on with the dog?
You Lucky Dog.
I would rather watch You Lucky Dog again.
Which is saying something because Kirk Cameron sucks.
Mm-hmm. But wow. I would still rather watch that movie because at least it's a movie. Like at least it makes sense from like a plot standpoint. Like this is, I don't know what this is. This is like a failed group project.
All right, Val, what are your first impressions?
Well, you've heard some of them already. I too was completely confused going into this movie because I didn't know what it was about. I'd never like heard of it before. I knew Zendaya was in it. That was basically it. So there's like a narration at the top of the movie that is Zendaya and Bella Thorne. It's the cold open that we just read. And then they are not in the movie for 25 minutes. And like, there's no mention of them. There's nothing. There's literally no understanding for someone who is coming into this cold. What is going on? Mm-hmm. You're all of a sudden watching a movie that is a completely different story than what they set up with this opening narration. And it's fine. Like the story's fine. It's like, whatever. It's a very like rote story. You know what I mean? Like it's like a story that I've seen done like a million times before, but like, it's fine. But I literally paused it because I was like, did I somehow like skip to another movie? Like what is going on here? I had to double check that like that the people I was looking at in this movie were like in the cast list for Frenemies. Like I was not clear on what was happening at all. And then all of a sudden they show up for like a 2-second thing in this first act, whatever. And then the second act is about them. And it's like, what? Like, why would you do that?
They definitely should have been act 1. If you're doing it in 3 parts, you got to have the people who are like doing the whole thing be act 1.
Right. Because that's literally what they say in the opening narration. That's literally what they say. Like, this happened to us. And then you don't see it happen to them for half an hour.
But first, they Julie Chen us on Big Brother. They say, but first, here's 30 minutes of someone else.
And like, it's basically a dog movie. It's like the best friend is a dog. Like, it's about a dog.
You know I hate that shit. You know I hate that shit, Val.
I literally have a note that goes, oh my God, a narrator and a dog. Al must be so mad.
That's why we have a 2.
Oh my God.
So why we have a 2.
Yeah. So I was just flabbergasted the whole way through this, that this got made, that it wasn't like changed at all, or at minimum rearranged to what we just said, which is like, they should have been the first one. It just made no sense. And like the 2 other stories are related to each other, but their story is not related in any way to anything. In fact, there's sort of a running joke that's like, does anyone know who these 2 girls are? And everyone's like, no, I've never seen it before in my life. It's like, why? What? It's so insane. So nothing in this movie makes sense. And it was excruciating to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Al, did you happen to find any quotes or moments that you would like to remark upon?
I have no favorite moments, not even the credits. My favorite moment was the 5 days that I took in between watching Act 2 and 3.
Because the closing credits are bloopers, but they're dog bloopers.
Which is why I hated them. Immediately turned off. Immediately. Oh
my God.
I did have a few quotes.
Okay.
I don't remember how any of these are delivered. And I don't remember the context of any of these.
Okay.
The Nick Robinson's mom says, I wish you could do that to my parking tickets. She was funny. I liked her. Then another scene with her, because she's the best part. Is that my scarf? And he goes, no, this is my scarf. And she goes, they make guy scarves? Your dog was framed by your girlfriend. Your dog was dogged.
I wrote that one too.
Yeah. Are you kidding? Do I look like a person with a sense of humor? That was probably my favorite line.
That's a good line.
The dad looking at that like disorganized house, and he goes, Roger, you need a maid. Oh, that'd be me. And then your grandfather is so polite. Mine picks his teeth with a credit card.
Yep, I wrote that one too. In fact, those might have been my only 2.
And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Val, do you have any favorite other quotes and moments?
Yes. Okay. Even Zac Efron isn't wearing those. Meta joke. Oh, this one just made me think like, oh my God, I forgot this was a thing. So someone's referring to making an international call on their cell phone, and someone goes, on your minutes, of course, like as in like you had limited minutes and you had to use more of them to call internationally. Not a thing anymore. Isn't that fun? Speaking English with a French accent is still speaking English. I feel sweat coming on. Bring me some deodorant. And that's it, other than the 2 you said. In terms of favorite moments, yeah, when it was over. When it was over.
Okay, Val. I think today I want to keep my top on because I don't like this movie and I don't think it deserves me to take my top off for it.
Fair enough.
All right.
Whenever you're ready.
I don't think I'll ever be ready for this. All right. Lights up on a narrator. Her name is Hallie, who is Zendaya. Her best friend and her created Geekly Chic. and her best friend's name is Avalon, and they almost turn from best friends to enemies, frenemies. And she says, quote, "We're getting ahead of ourselves." And I just wrote, ugh. We wake up to this guy, Jake, and a dog. And the mom, he's like talking to the mom about how he's like expecting this space science award in molecular astrophysics as like a sophomore in high school. And his dog is like human, like it's like his best friend, and his dog is like human thoughts, and not like really, but like it's a very human dog. It's also, I'm going to put it out there, not a cute dog. Okay. Ugly dog. And yeah, I said it. Not all dogs are cute. So then we get to Jake at school. He's a nerd and everyone wants to partner with him so that he does their project. And he partners with Julianne. And Julianne is the popular girl in school who is taking advantage of him. And Julianne goes to his house, and the human dog picks up on Julianne's like negative vibes. And like he could tell that like she has bad intentions. And then his award comes in the mail, and he got the award. And then the mom meets Julianne, and she's like suspicious because she's like, oh. And he's like, I need to take Murray to the dog park. The dog's name is Murray. And then he meets this like new person who we're meeting. Her name is Savannah. And I wrote her name down because I wrote who I assume comes back. And then Julianne is like, well, I can't do the project. I'm too nervous. But she fakes being his girlfriend. She's like, I can't do the project, but I'll be your girlfriend. And then Murray like runs away at the dog park, and Savannah returns him on a skateboard, who you can tell this dog has more liking for Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Julianne like dresses him all cool now. And then at the same time, so he's at school dressed with the scarves, as we mentioned. And then Murray supposedly like drops the letter in the toilet. And he
a love letter.
Oh, thank you, God. I blocked a lot. Julianne like wrote him like a love letter, and Murray goes through the mail every day and quote throws out the junk mail. And he took the love letter from Julianne and puts it in the toilet. And he calls him dumb. So we're fighting. We're about to be frenemies, Val. Me and my dog. So then Hallie and Avalon come in the hallway to stop him. And they're like, your fashion is terrible. They fix him up. And they're like, that's the first time we see them. So it has been literally like 20, 30 minutes before they actually show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes home, and Murray completely destroyed his room because he's like being rebellious. Julianne says she's going to get rid of the dog, and she like ploys to put the NASA award in the toilet. And she made this like whole plan for.
She tricks Murray into
Murray. And like, it's like looking like Murray put the NASA award in the toilet. And he's like, I hate you, get out. And Murray runs away. And then I wrote, Shannon finds him on the street. So Savannah has 3 different names in my synopsis because I didn't remember her name. So Shannon finds him on the street. And then he has a heart-to-heart with mom because they're like, Murray ran away. We don't know where he is. And we find out that Shannon has a crush on Jake. And then Julianne is like dating multiple people so that they do her homework. So she has different boyfriends. And Shannon is like hearing her do this. She's like, yeah, Marvin, you're my boyfriend. Yeah, Blake, you're my boyfriend. And so then he like figures it out with the 2 other guys who are his best friends.
Savannah brings them into the room.
Yeah. Not yet. So he figures out that there's like some sort of ploy going on where he has like these 2 guys who are in class with him who are like mean to him, but then are like kind of his best friends.
I literally wrote, are these his friends? I don't understand what's going on.
And then they don't come back.
I know.
And it's just so random. So apparently they're his friends. And so he sticks up to Julianne in the hallway and he's like, you are like using me. And then Shannon brings in the 2 other boyfriends. And so everyone's like being mean to Julianne at this point. And he's like, we're over. And then you're not going to believe this, everyone, but this does happen. Murray comes into the school. I wrote, I hate this movie. And he says, no girls ever again. And Shannon overhears and is sad. And that's act 1. And we are already a third of the way through the movie. And I am living, laughing, loving this. Okay. So now we're at act 2. So act 1 is done with dog. So they were frenemies and now they're back together. So Hallie is now submitting to Burns Publications. They want to have Geekly Chic be like a big thing. Her and Avalon live next door to one another, a la Taylor Swift music video, the You Belong With Me one, where they talk through the window. They live next door to one another. Zendaya's brother drives him to school, and has like a relationship with the GPS a la Her, the movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson.
He calls her J-Lo.
Yeah, he calls, because he's like, wouldn't you want J-Lo to be the person you're talking to? I don't know. And then Walker, who is the senior editor of the paper, returns their like ad and money for the website because he's like, people don't want this. Like, this is the school newspaper. And he's like, no, I don't want this. And then Burns Publication calls, and she thinks, Hallie, Zendaya, thinks that it's her brother playing a trick on them, but it's actually real. So then they go to New York City and they meet the editor of Marie St. Clair. And Marie St. Clair thought it was only going to be Hallie, and she only wants one editor. And she wants to like buy it from them, but they have to do 2 articles and only one of them gets the job. So this is where we're starting to get to the frenemies part. They start fighting. Jean Frank is like an artist coming to town, and they wanted to interview him at the concert, but the concert is sold out. Neither of them can find a ticket. So Avalon uses Walker and like brags about it because Walker knows a friend of a cousin of a sister of a neighbor can get a ticket. But then Hallie steals Avalon's phone because when they go into class, they have to put their phones in the bucket. And she calls Jean Frank, and she's doing the poor French, which is Val's quote of the like, yeah,
speaking English French speaking English with a French accent is still speaking English.
Exactly. And he's like, okay, I'll leave a ticket for you. And then Walker walks in and hears her doing this. And so then they say they're best friends for never. And then Walker told on Hallie to Avalon. So like Walker, this editor, and he did this because he has a crush on Avalon. So that's his motivation. So because Avalon knows that Hallie is like trying to like sidestep her a little bit, she edits the GPS in her brother's car and switches it to Urdu and changes the language so that they don't get to the concert on time, so that Hallie misses the concert. And Hallie uses her name and ticket that she had waiting for her. So she gets into the back to interview Jean Frank. And then Hallie sneaks in through like a storm door, like a basement, like storm drain. And then they like have a best friend fight in front of him. And then Jean Frank, this French guy, is a fraud. His name is actually Johnny Frankiewski. And, you know, they make up and they take the story back to Marie St. Clair. And they like wrote one article together about how Jean Frank is a fraud, but how he wants to be seen for who he is. And then she was mad that she didn't get 2 articles. So she sends them home. And then they run into Walker, and Walker's like, oh, yeah, I know someone at the TV show Teens Now. And they want to do an article on Geekly Chic and the girls who run it. And then they hug. And then almost kissing. And then they end up as the chief editor with Teens Now. And quote, they made a movie about it. So, and then I wrote, rip the memory of this movie from my skull. And that's act 2. We're flying.
Mind you, they are 14. Mm-hmm. So like the audacity to even send their shit to some big city editor, let alone hear from them, is ridiculous. Like nothing in this movie, nothing in any part of this makes any sense. Like there's so many, like I could nitpick for days about like the little details that make no sense in this movie, but I'm not going to waste your time because it's unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're down 2 acts, and I took a 5-day pause. So we are also going to take a 5-day pause. Val, welcome back. Okay. So now we're back to Shannon from Act 1, the one who had the crush on Jake, whose name is actually Savannah. She's skateboarding outside. She comes back in, hot dad. She didn't get breakfast because the 3 brothers she lives with ate everything. And she said, then dad was like, well, since you didn't get to eat anything, I'll give you money and you can go buy new shoes. So she skates into Jake, who we remember from the beginning, and she trips over a bush because she's nervous around Jake. As she's like skating back to school, the limo pulls up with a girl who looks exactly like her, but she's British. Her name is Emma.
And this is the moment where I wrote, no, Parent Trap, no.
Yep.
And then they did it anyway. And
then Savannah's nervous around Jake at school. So we like see more of that crush. Emma is at home and she asks for a pet and her parents say no. And she's like, okay, fine. I'm going to go to the mall and get new shoes. So both of them ask for new shoes, which means they're going to run into each other. So then Hallie and Avalon are both in the shoe store and talk about, here we go, Val, the Parent Trap moment. They both ask for a size 8. And then everyone's like, huh? So then Avalon and Hallie write about them in Geekly Chic. So they're still around, I guess.
Well, and they show up and they're like explaining to each other who they are. And then both of them are like, do you know those girls? And they're like, no, I've never seen them before in my life.
I understand the British girl not knowing who they are, but Savannah goes to school with them. So I feel like, whatever. But then they have a heart-to-heart in the food court about being jealous of one another's lives. And Geekly Chic offers, they're like, you guys should switch lives for a week. Wouldn't that be cool? So then Emma, who is Savannah, so Savannah's dressed up as Emma in her rich house. And she's being fitted for her birthday ball. So basically she's having like a quinceañera. And then Savannah, who is actually Emma, is at home. And Dad notices like weird stuff that she's like not calling him Pops. And then I wrote Dad is the best actor in this movie. And then they're both eating dinner. So like the rich girl who's used to being an only child is now eating with like the family meal and she doesn't get any food because all the brothers steal it. And then Savannah, who's used to being at the crazy, is now in like oh my God, you guys waited for me to eat dinner and we're eating salmon.
And escargot.
So then we see Savannah taking Emma's fencing lessons and ballet lessons. And then Emma is, as Savannah, getting into the bathroom and, starts bonding with the brothers a little bit. She's like interacting with them a little bit more. And then they like meet up and they talk about how they want their lives back. So they're going to switch tomorrow. So then Savannah tells the butler like, hey, actually, I'm not real. And he acted so fakingly shocked that you were like. I think
it was intentional.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God, I had no idea, so you're like, okay, he knew. And then Emma has a boyfriend. His name is Lance. Just it's so weird.
He sucks.
Yeah. And then Jake comes to who is Emma dressed as Savannah. And he like asks her out because she's finally like confident enough to share her feelings because it's not her. So she's sharing the feelings of someone else being like, yeah, I've always had a crush on you. So he's like, oh, do you want to go on a date? So then Emma and Jake are on a date who Jake thinks he's with Savannah. And Savannah is there and like sabotages it because she's jealous. And then they end up at the same park and they're fighting. And I wrote, I don't know why they don't just switch back at this point. Just switch back. What are we waiting for? So then everyone's at the birthday ball. And I wrote, I don't understand why they haven't switched back. And then Savannah breaks up with Emma's boyfriend because he's self-centered and very egotistical. They apologize to one another in front of everyone. And she's not even mad about the breakup because she's never wanted to date him. She just didn't know how to break up with him. And the boyfriend thinks that it's Jake's fault because they saw each other at the dog park. He tries to tackle him and runs into the chocolate fountain. And then everyone makes up. They switch back. And then they have a dance party because how else would this end? How else would this movie end? But a dance party that no one asked for.
And a dance party that is led by Zendaya and Bella Thorne.
And Zendaya.
Again, they're like, who invited them? They're like, nobody.
Yep. And then the butler got Emma a dog. And then everyone from the movie, like the guys from the beginning and the girls from the beginning, is in the big dance party. And then we end with, if you truly love your best friend, anyone can overcome being frenemies.
Also, this is the incorrect definition of frenemies. Like, frenemies are people who are enemies who act sort of friendly, like fake friendly with each other. Mm-hmm. Like, frenemies are not friends who became temporarily enemies. Mm-hmm. And so this entire framework of this movie is based on
That's so
an
true,
incorrect term for whatever this is.
I will never do this movie again with my eyeballs.
Never, ever, ever. Do not watch this movie. I beg of you, don't waste your time.
We said that way too late. We said don't watch this movie way too late. We should have said that. That should have been the first thing we said.
Yeah, true. And it's such a bummer. Like, what a bummer. Like, yeah. Zendaya is like a really great actress and person. Yeah. Like, I don't know Bella Thorne, but I'm sure she's great too. Like, what a stinker to put these two people in.
It should have just been a movie about their trajectory of their story.
These 3 stories could have each been their own movie and should have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at minimum, it should have been 2 movies, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's weird. It's like they just didn't have enough ideas to like make a full length movie out of this. But like, it's actually kind of funny that we like have recently watched for Have You Seen 13 Going on 30, because there are some similar themes in that movie of like friendship and betrayal of your real friends and fake friends, and even like the publishing industry, and like there's a number of parallels actually to between the two. That is a full length movie, and a very good one at that. So I think like the fact that they thought this was a good idea to like mash these 3 stories together in such a way that makes no sense at all. I cannot. And also I didn't mention this yet. The dialogue in this movie, the writing in this movie is so bad. Like I genuinely was sitting there feeling bad for Zendaya for some of the stuff that she had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's robotic. The jokes are terrible. Like it's so like, it's like if someone like put a bunch of DComs into an AI and said like, write a bad script that like plays on every trope, that makes every cheap joke, and just make something. And the AI was not very good and just sort of did this. Like, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Don't watch this movie.
Okay, well, let's go to bingo.
Okay. All right, friends. We're doing it. I'll start today.
Great.
For our bingo. One hit wonder song.
What's that dance song at the end?
Well, but it's Zendaya and Bella Thorne.
No,
so
because Shake It Up was like too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Breaking the fourth wall or looking into the camera? I saw Nick Robinson look into the camera during the dance sequence.
Great. Counts.
Great.
Holiday themed.
No. Clunky metaphor.
Oh, God, no. Parents who just don't get it.
The dad kind of doesn't really get it.
Yeah, all the parents in the third act, I guess, don't really get it.
Oh, yeah, the rich parents. Yeah. Cool non-parent adult.
What's the name of the butler?
Oh, Pemberley.
Yeah. Someone too famous for a TV movie.
They were just enough famous.
Yeah. They were on TV. So that's, I think, the same.
Competition to resolve central problem. Nope.
A montage sequence. Yep. Yes.
Cliche villains.
I would say that girlfriend.
The like popular girlfriend and the rich boyfriend.
Yeah.
Not that he was really a villain, but she definitely was.
She definitely was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I literally wrote this girl is evil at one point.
Yeah.
Clothes or items you owned. I don't think so. Like there was one girl wearing like a brown belt, like right under her boobs, as was the fashion at that time, which I definitely did, but it wasn't like that exact belt or that exact shirt. So I don't know if I'd count it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes 40 to 60.
I'm going to hope that this movie was less than a 40. So I'm going to say 38.
You're within 5. It's 41.
Wow. Okay. So
at least it's under 50.
Yeah. Just barely in that range. So
yeah,
I guess I can accept that. Maybe. Happily Ever After. I guess they're doing a dance number. So
yeah.
I guess they're happy.
Almost Kissing? No.
Unless you count the dog.
Yeah. I hate that.
Someone who became famous.
Yes. Multiple
Zendaya.
people.
Yeah. But especially Zendaya.
For sure. Betraying of one's real friends or values. All 3 acts.
Yep. That's the whole thing.
Yep. Val. Exciting news.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we've reached our square, which we said we were going to change as soon as Al was a full-blown adult.
Yes. I have officially turned 18. I am still 18. 2012. I mean, I'm still 18 at this point.
Yeah. But you're in college. Like that was the cutoff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're now both in or out of college, like past college at this point. So it feels a little grody to continue to use the childhood crush square. And so we are updating it to, drumroll please, a narrator.
Yeah. I hope we never mark this square.
But we are today. At some point, if we're like bored one day, we should go back and see how many more bingos we would have gotten.
Oh,
if
that's
we'd
fun.
had this square before.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Obviously, bad special effects or stunts.
Oh, actually, there is one. So, in the scene where Julianne throws the ball to get rid of Murray, she like winds up like she's gonna like softball pitch, but then she throws overhand and the ball goes like more than a football field, and it's very clearly an animation. So and it looks really stupid. So cool. I would definitely count that.
Disney Channel star.
Yeah, they were on a Disney Channel show.
They sure were.
Musical number. Yup.
Yeah. There was one by the shock of everyone, and even in my terms, it did not save this movie.
Magic. No.
It was magic when this movie ended.
Yes.
Someone says the title of the movie.
So many times.
Many times.
Scooby Dude. Kind of like in the way that they write the article together and like everything kind of leading up to that, like in the when they're breaking into the concert and whatever, like that kind of feels Scooby-Dooish, but I don't know if I want to count it.
No.
Okay.
The heroes create the problem. Poor communication is the reason behind all of these problems. So yeah.
Lead is a fish out of water. Not really.
No. Okay, Val. Well, surprisingly, we did get one bingo, and it is thanks to our narrator.
Wow.
We had betraying of one's real friends or values, narrator, obviously bad special effects or stunts, Disney Channel star, and musical number.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We did it, y'all. We did it.
Well, Val, we've come upon our game. And we are recording this right before Halloween, even though it's not going to come out for a little bit. So we're not going to play a game that has anything to do with Frenemies because I want to forget that this movie was even made. So we're going to play a little scavenger hunt of sorts. And so we're going to have 5 minutes to get 3 things. You have to get something that's spooky cute.
Okay.
You have to get something that's spooky.
Okay.
And then you have to do some sort of makeshift costume.
Okay.
And you can put as much effort in or as little effort in as you want.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Happy Halloween. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay, Val, we're back.
Okay.
We're going to go with what is our spooky cute item in 3, 2, 1. Val, what's your spooky cute item?
Okay, so it is a little carved cat, and it was given to me actually by our friend Zeev, who has been a guest on this podcast before as a part of the improvised decom cast. They gave this to me because our team name that I also coached them on a house team, and the house team's name was a bunch of friggin' cats.
Oh.
And they got me this little carved cat like right before I went on maternity leave, and it was very, very sweet and thoughtful.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, but I think that cats are sort of inherently a little bit spooky.
Yes.
So it's like spooky cute because of that.
Spooky cute. Yes. Cute story, still spooky.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
My spooky cute item is A new item I've added to my Halloween collection this year, which is a disco ball spider.
Oh, very cute.
Yeah. It was $1 in the Target $1 section. So I got 2.
Wow. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Val, let us reveal our spooky items. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, okay, Val, what's yours?
So, this is a teapot or some kind of vessel that my dad brought home from a business trip in Turkey. And I've always thought there was a chance that it was a lamp, like from Aladdin.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think spooky because it looks pretty spooky.
Yeah.
And it's also a little scary because I don't want to rub it the wrong way and
for sure
have a scary genie come out of it.
Yeah, that is spooky. Thanks, Val. My spooky item is my proposed budget for my HOA in 2025.
Oh. Blech.
And that's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's gross.
Okay. Makeshift costume in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, Val! Okay, what's your costume?
Okay, so I have to take it off to talk because it's a mask. So
okay.
It's actually this really beautiful, intricately made lion mask that my aunt made like a really, really long time ago. Like I'm pretty sure this mask is older than I am. I think she might have made it for like a show because she used to do, make like sets and props and stuff in a theater. But it's really beautifully made. She like hardened like fabrics to like sort of make this dynamic. It kind of honestly, it looks like something that would work in like The Lion King.
Yeah, it does.
As a mask. And yeah, and I've just, for some reason, I ended up with it at some point, and then like it's just moved with me like throughout my adult life. And so yeah, I just grabbed it, and it would make a great lion costume or part of the lion costume. Yeah.
Thank you, Val.
Hey, Al.
I'm holding a skull. I'm Hamlet.
Ah, very good.
Hamlet. Yay, thanks for playing our spooky scavenger hunt that will come out sometime in November, so it's not really relevant anymore, but it's relevant right now.
It is.
Woo! Well, Val, thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for being my friend, and you're great and amazing.
Thank you, Al, for all those things and for watching this terrible movie in the interest of our podcast.
Yeah, we're frenemies now because you made me watch this movie.
No,
just kidding.
Oh, thank goodness. Phew.
Val, what are we watching next?
We are watching Radio Rebel.
I'm going to assume the next couple are going to be like this.
God, I just hope they get it together at some point.
Pull yourself together.
I know they do because I've seen at least one movie from the future. Actually, I've seen a couple from the future that I like. Mm-hmm. So I know that they do, but I'm just like, can we get there already? Because I'm starting to get really impatient with this crap.
Yeah, really bad. If you happen to be a Gen Z and listen to our podcast, can you just let us know if you liked this movie? Thanks.
Yes, please. I mean, I'm guessing the rating of 41% indicates that it wasn't as well received as some of the other ones. Like, because usually I feel like the ratings are quite generous for these movies. Yeah. That's rough. Yeah. So that tells me that people did not like this.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Val. Well, thank you. I love you.
I love you.
Bye, Val.
Bye, Al. This podcast was produced by me.
And me.
And it was edited by me.
The music was composed by Michael McNally.
You can find us online at thetridentnetwork.com/dcommentaries-pod.
And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at dcommentaries.
Dcommentaries is a part of the Trident Network. To learn more about our videos, live shows, and other podcasts, please visit thetridentnetwork.com.
Disney Channel original movies.
Damn it, Allie.